We coming into some side bend. Shift the hip and rib cage to one side, then the other side, and start to connect with our breathing. And maybe just one more time, side to side. And then start to circle the hip. Breathe in the first half of the circle, breathe out the second. Breathe in to one hand and the other, then exhalation, one heel and then the other. And keep that circle going, keep the breath circulating. And move the body and the diaphragm to explore each breath. We're going for one more circle. And then take our hip to the right heel or the other and coming into a side bend with the upper body to the opposite direction and maybe slowly lower the forehead on the floor. And feel free to keep your knees close or slide them apart. And sometimes we want to do the opposite of what we like to do. So instead of, I always like to bring the knees apart so the belly can come through between the legs. I decided to keep the legs a little bit closer today. So we feel some pressure in the front of the belly and the top of the thighs. Let's make our way back onto our hands and knees. So I hope everybody still remember the direction of the hip. We're going to circle the hip to the other heel, back, hand, and the hand. Entire inhalation, one half of the circle, entire exhalation, the other half. And feel some lifting of our belly as we supporting the weight. And instead of collapsing onto our hands, we keep drawing the energy in toward the core center. Let's go there one more time and start to take your hip toward the other heel and walk the upper body to the other direction. Forehead on the floor, take your time, and we let it go. Very slowly, let's make our way back to the center. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and this time we shift the weight forward onto both hands. We're pushing onto both hands. Exhalation, sit back onto the heels. Inhalation, we shift the weight forward, adding some heat for the shoulders. Exhalation, sit back. Now let's go back and forth just a few more times. Now let's go for one more. And this time when we shift the weight forward, we tuck the toes, lift the hip, plus down dog. Pedal the feet or be still. And connecting with our breath again. And checking through the entire body. And when we're ready, let's stay in a still down dog just for a few more breaths. When we are still, the body is, you can hear more, you can feel more. Now from here, we lower the knees onto the floor and keep the hip just above the knees. And then we're coming into a little bit more back. So melting heart, or if you like to call it puppy dog. And then you can, maybe too strong at this point, you can always bend our elbows, rest the forehead on the elbows. Or if it's not too much, we stay talking about puppy dog. Also from that book, having a pet lowers down your blood pressure. So yeah, we're doing something correct. Of course, yoga is a big factor. And to have everything, cardio is another thing. Of course, your food choices, but having a pet is another fun fact that keep us healthy because pets are not judgmental. Isn't that wonderful? Now, slowly from here, we shift the weight forward, ground down to the forearms and stretch the legs back, lower down to our belly. Thanks is my favorite back bend. Stay, roll the shoulders back and down, push the hip further down toward the earth. We're going to start with a bit of a rotation of the neck. So breathe in the first half, breathe out the second. Let's go there one more time, side to side, just to balance our left and right. And then we find our center again. Stay maybe in Sphinx for just a few more breaths. And then whenever you're ready, we start to lift the hip again, walk back to child's pose. And start to shift the body weight forward and tuck the toes back to down dog. And then we're going to move further. Stay or keep moving and pedaling the feet. Let's take the leg that is far away from the camera. Let's take it up into the ceiling. Maybe give your toes some wiggles, ankles some circles in the air. And then from here, let's try something slightly different. We're going to flex that foot. Start to rotate 5 toes toward the floor. See if you can line up your left or right hip so it's a closed hip 3-leg dog. And the very next breath, we bend our knee, plant the foot forward in front of the mat. Let's ground the back foot into about 45 degrees. Take a gentle inhalation, slowly rise. We want to find a scoop of that hip forward and slowly we open the chest. Let the arms circle, breathe in. Exhalation, we hinge forward. Bring the arms by your side and pushing onto the back foot. On the very next breath, and slowly lower the hands down. And lower the back knee. Relax the back foot. Take a big breath in. We're coming into a lunge, kneeling lunge. Exhalation, come back into that runner stretch, one of my favorite. And we're going back and forth. Inhalation, bend the front knee, allow the hip to lower. Exhalation, the back of your breath will tell you where to go. Entire inhalation, shift the weight forward. Entire exhalation, we sit back. Last one. Now come back to that lunge, kneeling lunge. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, free that back foot forward, forward fold. It might be a strange difference between left and right. You might feel just perfect right now. Allow the upper body to rest on the thighs. Upper body is heavy. Shift your weight forward and back and side to side. And let's take one more breath here. So the leg that is closer to the camera, I'm going to repeat it. Take that leg back again into that warrior one position, ground the foot, and repeat and slowly scoop the hip forward. We rise again to warrior one. Let the arms slowly fold back and breathe in. Exhalation, shift that weight forward, pushing further onto the back foot. And on the very next breath, hands down. And this time we free the front leg back, down dog or 3-leg dog. Whenever we're ready, the other leg, the leg that is closer to the camera, we take it up into the ceiling. We start with that open hip. So give your body some freedom first and maybe circle that foot this way that way. We go the toes around. When we're ready, we flex that foot. Rotate the 10 toes, no, 5, not 10. 5 toes, and then try to level your hips, and you should feel a little bit weird. And then the other leg's getting some more stretch. And then whenever we're ready, we bring that leg forward. Foot between up, somewhere in front of the mat. Lower the back foot. And slowly rise. Breathe in. Scoop the hip forward and let the arms circle all the way around, back. A giant inhalation. Exhalation, hands on the floor, lower the back knee, lower the back foot. Breathing, hip descent, chest lift. Breathe out the back. Very long leg. Let's go there 3 more times. Entire inhalation, way forward. Entire exhalations back. Let's go there two more times. Just follow your breath. And then we come back again to that lunge. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, forward fold. And stay or come up halfway if it's too much that forward fold. Maybe it feels perfect. Stay. We're going one more time. The leg is far away from the camera. And step back again to that warrior one. Ground the entire foot. And take a big breath in. Slowly rise and scoop the hip forward. Let the arms circle. Lift the chest. Breathe in. Exhalation. Arms by your side. Or bring it forward and hug your biceps toward your ear. And very next breath in, slowly come back and free that front leg back, down dog or three leg dog or meet and down dog. Again, I'm not a huge fan of chaturanga. Sometimes we like to flow around. If that's your body, please do. I just find it's a little bit late of the day. We not salute the sun anymore, so not necessary. It's about calm down the body now. Now let's lower the knees down. When you're ready, we bring the knees together, toes together, and we're going to sit back onto our heels. And take a big breath in. Let's open the chest. Reach your heart into the ceiling. Exhalation, we're giving ourselves a hug. Catch your shoulder blades with the fingers, tuck the chin. Now this is wonderful. Start to round your body. Push, pull that belly in. Keep the chin tucked under. Now the very next inhalation, lower your sitting bones onto your heels. And start to stretch the upper body again like the flower opening. Those flowers still there. And exhalation will cross the arms the other way. Tuck the chin, round. My dad heard on the forecast it's going to snow. Sorry, the word snow next week. So I think this week will be the last week we're still getting those beautiful flowers. So enjoy. I start to move the flowers indoor. Now, anytime we're ready, we come back again. Lower the hip onto your heels. Open like a flower. And then slowly bring the arms to your side and maybe lace your fingers behind you and lift the chest. Now, this is wonderful. Keep your arms, hands laced and start to fold. If you like to go for a shoulder extension, please do. If you want to take a little bit further, tuck your chin, roll onto the top of the head. Now, anytime we're ready, we unlace the fingers and bring the arms by your side. And surely we'll mess up your hair. Then come back to that rabbit pose. Now slowly walk the hands away from the feet, back to our hands and knees. Give your body some time and come back to cat and cow maybe, and just run the energy along the spine a few more times. Very last one. At this point, if you haven't put any blocks nearby, you might or might not need them. I love blocks. It just makes everything feel so much better. In front of the mat, if you have them handy, and we'll come to another down dog. The leg that is far away from the camera, we're taking it again into the ceiling. Freedom first. Circle the foot, wiggle your hip. You feel, wiggle your hip. Wiggle that toes. Circle the ankle, and then lower the hip down to level up with the other one. Reduce the range of motion. Find the stability. And then take that leg forward, foot in front of the mat. Again, a warrior one. We ground the back foot and take a giant inhalation. Slowly we rise. Take our time. Scoop the hips forward and give your arm another big circle. Lift the chest, arms are soft. Inhalation, hinge forward, pushing down to the back foot. Exhalation, hands down on the floor or on the blocks. On the very next inhalation, reach your heart forward. I like the blocks. And exhalation, let's send that hip back to level up with line up your hips. Now, if this is wonderful, stay and feel free to discard the blocks if you don't need them. I certainly feel so much better with them. Reach your heart forward. We're looking for the healthy range of motion, so we can reduce a lot of injury. Now, whenever we're ready, let's repeat the same thing. We bend our front knee, hands again on the floor, on the block. So we take that back leg forward, forward fold. This time, take a giant inhalation in, hands on the shin or on the thigh. We come up halfway. Exhalation, fold. Inhalation, soften the knees one vertebrae at a time. We rise all the way to the ceiling. Exhalation, maybe we find a cactus arms, hug the elbows into the rib cage. Inhalation, we rise all the way back to the ceiling. Exhalation, swan dive and soften your knees and come back to that forward fold. The leg that is closer to the camera, step back. We're going back to that warrior one. And from here, let's get the blocks, or if you don't need blocks, just draw both hip back or go back to that pyramid. And then from here, if you want to take a little bit further, hand closer to the camera, pushing down onto the block or floor, the other hand on your low back. We're going for a twist, and if you, again, got that space, you can add the arm. Slowly come back, bend that front leg. Let's take the front leg back to down dog. Again, if you like to add a flow in between, please do. I'm going to skip that part today, this time of the day. A little bit tiring. And take the leg that is closer to the camera, send it into the ceiling. Three-leg dog, wiggle the toes, ankle, you decide. And then again, turn the five toes down. One side feels different from the other side. Try to level the hip. It feels weird. Oh, a lot harder. You feel stuck, and that's normal. Just keep breathing. And then we send that knee forward and foot in front of the mat. Lower, ground the back foot, warrior one. When we're ready, we rise, scoop the hip forward and circle the arms, lift the chest, circle all the way around, hinge forward and pushing down to the back foot. Hug your biceps toward the ear, embrace the belly, and the very next breath, hands down, blocks or no blocks, and start to draw this hip back, pyramid. Now we stay, just breathe. If you notice any tension here, it should be only the legs, the inner thighs, the belly. If your shoulders are really holding tension, we are aware and try to relax the shoulders. And then when we're ready, we bend that front leg and we free the back leg in, forward fold again. Inhalation, hands on the shin or on the thigh, we come up halfway. Exhalation, fold. Inhalation, one vertebrae at a time, we rise. Exhalation, cactus arms. Inhalation, back into the ceiling. Exhalation, swan dive, soften the knees. The leg that is far away from the camera, step back into a pyramid. And align the hip however high we want to go. Want to feel the outside of that leg. You can keep bending that leg if too much. So this is wonderful. We stay hand on the low back and lift the belly. Keep adjusting. I need a lot of adjustment for this side. So we know two sides are different. And then I twist the arm. This is my bad side. There's a click on my back. Clickings are normal unless it hurts. Shouldn't feel anything, just the sound. Now one more breath and slowly come back. And take that leg back, down dog. Adding a floor knot to decide. There. Down dog sure feels very different from the beginning of the class. I'm gonna lower down to our hands and knees again now. Let's add a gentle flow into cow and exhalation to cat. Here's our reset. Let's go there one more time. And then we find our neutral spine and we're adding a twist to the back wall, breathe in. Exhalation, thread the needle. We're gonna stay, lower the shoulder on the cheek. The other hand might be in front of you or crawl to the top of the mat. So taking one more breath here. Take that arm back and slowly rotate. Maybe counterbalance to the other side one more time. And exhalation, hands and knees. Inhalation, cow. Exhalation, cat. Maybe two more. And the last time. And then we find a neutral spine. The other arm sweep over, rotate, and exhalation. And we'll go to the other side. And stay here and let your body soften, melt away. And slowly slide that hand back and take a big inhalation. We just go for that counterbalance. And exhalation back onto our hands and knees. Inhalation back to cow. Exhalation cat. Maybe one more time. Inhalation to cow. Exhalation, tuck the toes, down dog. We're going there one more time, last time for the standing pose. So the leg that is far away from the camera. One more time, we're ticketing to the ceiling. So every time they might feel slightly different or very much the same or worse. Maybe we have pushed too far and come a little bit back, lower down to the knee if that's option. And I'm going to level the hip again. And from here, we take that leg back to the front of the mat and ground the foot. One more time, we come up to warrior one. Exhalation, let everything soften. Slowly bring the body weight forward and back. Hug the elbows toward the ear. And then we open to warrior two so we can adjust the feet. Relax the shoulders. And slowly come to sun and maybe even reverse triangle, release the belly of the leg. And then slowly we bend that knee and we'll come back to warrior two. And let's sweep the arm through and go in there again. And exhalation, carefully bend that knee and come back. One more time, inhalation. Exhalation. And this time when we go back to that reverse triangle, maybe pick up the elbow, bring it to the back of the head and add extra stretch and side bend. And make our way back to the center, bend that front knee carefully, back to warrior two and start to place your hand on the thigh and start to shift the weight to that front leg. The option is to stay floating or reach down for the block or on the floor, half moon. This is the time we should salute the moon. Now ground that foot to the very back of the mat. And when we're standing up, I love those hugs. I'll keep going for those hugs. And lift the chest. Exhalation, hug. Tuck your chin and bend your knees. And then maybe let your body slowly fold. Slowly power through the center of the feet till we rise. Open. Exhalation, hug. The other way, cross the arms. Inside your bent tower legs and tuck the chin around. And slowly come back again. And tip top the toes, warrior two the other way. Breathe in and sweep the arms. So we'll go to that reverse triangle. Exhalation back. Inhalation. Reverse triangle. Stretch side bend. Exhalation. Last time, inhalation. Actually, we got two more. Exhalation. Hey, I have difficulty counting to 4. Exhalation. Stay now this time. If you like to pick up that elbow, take a little bit further, please do. Now we slowly bend our leg and come back to warrior 2 and then hand, a block is there. Well, I guess we're not using the block. If you happen to have a block here, that's perfect. Make a giant footprint on the floor with a standing leg and start to open to a moon. Salute. And then very slowly we ground that foot. I haven't forgotten about the other side. So don't worry, we're gonna slowly come back. Oh, I love those eagle arms. We're doing this all the time. And eagle arms, and take a big breath in. Lift the elbows, lower the shoulders down. Feel free to come into a back bend if you like. And exhalation, elbows into your belly. Bend the knees, spread the forearms, and start to fold. One more time, breathe in, power through our legs, and we open. Exhalation, wrap the arms the other way. Wrap the arms or hug. Breathe in again. Back bend is nice. Go there. Pull the belly in to support the bending of the spine. Exhalation, elbow into the belly. Spread the forearms. Tuck the chin. Bend your legs as much as you need to. Now this time we uncross the arms and come into that wide leg floor fold just for a few more breaths. Hands on the floor, or walk the hands closer to your legs if there's more space. So we maybe even hug your knees in and keep sending the tailbone into the sky. And then slowly we place the hands back, and I'm going to go to the first side because I had a hard time figuring out left to right. So I'm going to do this from the side. And take that for leg back, 2 down dog or 3-leg dog. If you're looking for flow, do that. If this is very content, stay the leg that is closer to the camera. We take it back into the ceiling to balance our left to right. Flex that foot, and then when we're ready, rotate your hip to level up left to right. Very next breath, we'll bring that knee forward, foot in front of the mat. Round the back foot into a 45-degree. Slowly, one more time, warrior one. Circle the arms. The range of motion is definitely a little bit different. Now shift that way forward to our warrior one stiff. Exhalation, hands on the floor. And bring the back foot in, and we'll come into that forward fold. That's it. Now, whenever we're ready, walk the feet heel toe wider to the mat distance apart. Turn the toes out, heels and knees to the direction of the toes. And we're coming into that squat. Reset.